What's up, Eagles Nation? Well, for the first time in the 2017-18 season, we have a game day morning. It is Sunday morning, the 10th of September, and it's a game day. Eagles at Washington, and I do want to start by saying I feel like such a freaking smack about that Madden game last night. Because you're gonna lose from time to time playing Madden. But it wasn't it wasn't just the Eagles game that I was like having a pick fest in. So full disclosure, I do like playing when I play a Madden season. I like controlling a lot of different teams, and I just got the game yesterday for PS4. It's the first time I ever tried playing it on PS4. So I'm really, raw and green, at it, playing it on that system. And I just started playing the game on there last night. And I played a few games. I played the Eagles game, which you saw, unfortunately, on the on YouTube. I got a lot of flack for that from Big Slim, by the way. I'm sorry about that. I wanted to bring a victory home. I really did. I've never lost to the Redskins before. Full disclosure, I played the game since '98. That's the first time I ever lost to them as the Eagles. And I beat them all sorts of ways. I mean, I had a Deshaun Jackson moment, like the Miracle of the Meadowlands #3. When they punted the ball to him and he scored. Those years ago, I basically did the same thing to them in a playoff game with Deshaun Jackson. I was losing, they punted the ball to him, and he went in and scored. I really wish I had that one on YouTube. But, so I'm playing other games, and the same stuff's going on. Because, hey, you play the game, you're going to throw interceptions, you're going to have fumbles and stuff. It's not like you're going to be perfect for the most part. But to that level, it's like every possession, every series in the second half is going. Oh, I'm just glad. I'm just glad I didn't have the microphone set up. There was some EDP stuff going on, in my man cave playing that game last night. I was getting frustrated. I was calling Torrey Smith, Nelson Aguilar. I was ready to cut him. So particularly the one play late in the second half where I basically did the Torrey Smith play where you just go deep and throw him the ball, and he bats it up in the air. Oh. I was so upset after that. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Catch the damn ball, it's your friend. I was calling him Aguilar after that one. I was just like, what are you doing, Aguilar? Catch the ball. I played some other games. I played the Texans Jaguars game because I do like Deshaun Watson and I liked it in college, and I wanted to play a Texans game, and it was the same thing. It was like interception. I'm like, look, I know it's a game. I know interceptions are a part of football, but why am I throwing them at this type of level? What is going on? And again, full disclosure, this is my first time playing the game on PS4. So I probably should have played some more games before I did the Eagles game. And if I would have done that, I would have figured this out. I watch a lot of the gamer I am not a gamer. You might have noticed that from that game last night. I'm not a gamer. I don't profess to be. I play for fun. I don't play against other people because it would be EDP. It really... And I know it's a lot of fun. People do it, and that's how you get better. You play people, but I just like playing. I do it for fun, so I always play against the system. I'm not in those competitive online leagues and stuff that people make a living on. It's not me. It's not what I do. But I've always played seasons. I've always controlled multiple teams. I play every Eagles game. The Eagles are like the top team for me, in Madden. I play every single Eagles game. And for some teams, if it's a big game or something, I'll play the game. If it looks like it's going to be a fun game to play, I'll play the game. I like other players on other teams, so I'll play this, as the Seahawks with Russell Wilson, or I'll play, now the Texans with Deshaun, Watson. and everything. But I, it's like a pick fest. It's a pick fest in all these games. Like, why am I throwing this many interceptions? This is not, this isn't the way. Come on now. What is this? And I watch all these different people's channels for all these years. The sports gaming universe, the Moonlight Swami, the Mr. Hurricane. That's a channel I really enjoy. I remember Arios. I wish he would come back. He was really good at calling the games. He was like an announcer, and that was cool because I tend to do that a lot when I'm playing. I'm pretty much calling the games, and all these different channels and all these different years, right? And I'm like looking at the settings, like, is the interception level like really high? What's going on here? And it didn't dawn on me before to start the season to look at the sliders. And I'm 100% with you guys. I'm going to be 100% here. And full disclosure, I've never in my life, and this is the first time I'm playing on the PS4, I've never done anything with sliders in Madden. Never. And again, I'm not a gamer. I don't know all this inside, this and that. I just play the game for fun. I've never touched sliders, but I've never played it. On I would say a more newer system. The newest system I've ever played Madden on is Xbox 360. And I didn't never touch the sliders on there, and it was just regular games. Gameplay was good. It was close, competitive game. It wasn't like I was winning 50-2. Every game. Because that wouldn't be fun. Well, maybe against Dallas. But besides that, and all those years of watching these games in these channels, and all these years of the person playing it saying, mentioning sliders every now and then, or people writing in comments about sliders, and it never hit me. The only time I ever did anything with sliders in a game was NBA. Because you have to. Because you'll miss every shot otherwise, or can't stop your opponent. It's the system once on a possession, so you have to play around with the sliders in that. That's the only time I've ever touched sliders in a video game. I've never, nothing. Baseball, hockey, none of that. Never, because I just never had to. Well, maybe I did, but I just didn't. Because the games were fun, they were competitive. I just never really had the need to. So I'm after the Texans-Jaguars game, where I was at the level of frustration that was like, why do I even have this game? I'm just going to throw interceptions every possession. What is this? I'm like looking at the settings, and the menu, it's like a drop-down menu. And it was that light bulb moment going off in my head. It's like, oh, damn. Sliders, that's what's going on. And sure enough, I go into slide, and everything's like set right down the middle. I'm like, oh. So I adjusted things, and I'm not saying I adjusted things so I'd win game 70-3. No, but I adjusted the sliders, and then I played the Seattle Green Bay game, which was a really fun game to play. It was a close, competitive game. I ended up winning as Seattle. And I did not throw any interceptions. I was proud of myself. I'm like, I got through a game without being a giver. The whole game. Oh, I was so annoyed at. Oh my! You don't even know. I'm glad I did not have a microphone setting on. I have the little headset microphone that came with the system. I'm so glad I didn't have that on as the Eagles game. I thought about it beforehand, doing some commentary, being my own, Merle Reese, and everything, and I'm so glad I didn't, because I was EDPing it up last night. Playing that game, I was so frustrated. I'm like, hey, I know Kerrigan's good, but my God. Why, Carson, why? Stop throwing interceptions. Can I just have one series in the second half where I'm not being a giver? I'm not in the mood for gifts. I want to win this damn game. But I do apologize. I know you shouldn't really do this, but I do look at that game as my mulligan moment. And I do promise for the rest of, because I am going to post all the Eagles games on YouTube. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to also, not to say this channel's turning into a gamer channel, because it's not, but I just think for fun, from time to time, I'm going to do some Phillies games. I'm going to do some Sixers and Flyers. I have to look at the sliders. Now I know. The baseball game plays really well. I haven't touched the sliders on that, and I love that game. I love MLB The Show, so that game, again, it's just okay. I'm doing all right. I don't have to adjust anything, but I guess in Madden you have to. Again, it was just one of those moments where I'm looking at the settings, and all of a sudden the light bulb goes off. I'm like, oh no! Like, damn it! I couldn't just think of this before the Eagles Redskins game. No, I feel bad. I do. I apologize to the Eagles Nation for my performance in that game. I do feel like this is a press conference. I need the podium in front of me. I gotta do a better job. So rest assured, though, from Kansas City week on, again, they're not going to be blowouts. I'm not going to win games 70-3 or some crazy thing like that. But they are going to be a little more normal to me to how I play the game. Not just going to throw interceptions at every freaking second half possession. I felt so bad about that, too. I'm like, I don't lose to the Redskins. I've lost to not the Redskins. Come on. Needless to say, though, and I'm going to play this every week. I'm going to go through like it's the football week. So every week leading up to the Eagles, game, it's going to be like next week. It's going to be Eagles Kansas City. The week after that's the Eagles Giants. So I'm going to do this once a week. I'm going to kind of follow along with the season in it. But rest assured, when the Redskins come here, it's going to be a little different. I'm not going to be a giver in that game, Washington. All right, so you enjoy your little time. You enjoy that game, that 10-6 victory. First time the Redskins ever got me. But know this, I'm coming full bore that next game. You're going to get the real mighty fan in that game. And you're not going to like it. I should have had the micro. If I would have had the microphone going in that game, oh my goodness, I was getting frustrated. So I do apologize about that. You didn't see me at my best, and I probably should have done a little more preparation before the game, before I put it up on YouTube. But the play calling I thought was pretty good. It's just the execution wasn't there. I was getting upset at LeGarrette Blount. I'm like, LeGarrette, it's 1 yard. Get the touchdown. Come on, get in there. No. Damn it. I was getting frustrated. But I'm probably preaching to the choir here. People who played video games, they know what I'm talking about. But that being said, I wanted to throw that out there. So I'm sorry to Big Slim. I'm sorry to the other Eagle fans watching that and getting frustrated at me playing the game. That's normally not how I play. I'm sorry. You caught me in a moment of weakness. But rest assured, the rest of the way, it will be better. It will be better. I'm not going to be as much of a giver in those games. So just... Because, like I said, literally, I'm playing these other games, and it's the same thing, the interception fest. Like, I know you're going to throw interceptions, but to this level? Really? Every possession almost? Come on. Come on, Madden. You don't have to be that difficult. Anyhow, I just wanted to kind of start this with that. But it is Eagles-Redskins week. Game day Sunday. Obviously I'm looking forward to the game. I hope it's better than that Madden game was. I really... I do, and I feel the Eagles have a good chance of winning this game and finally getting off the, just ending that streak against Washington, the losing streak, the 5 game losing streak. They're going to have to, obviously it starts in the trenches. Offensive line's got to protect Carson's got to open up the running games. The defensive line has got to put pressure on Kirk Cousins. Because of, all the things that people talk, well, they don't have Garcon, they lost Jackson. As you saw in the Madden game last night. Pryor's a pretty good receiver. And if you give Cousins enough time, I mean, like any other quarterback in this league, they're going to beat you. And one of the biggest problems for the Eagles over the last few years and why they've lost, and yeah, the Eagles really, if you think about it, the last few years, they were below 500. They haven't had a, winning record. So I guess they were kind of an easy prey for the Redskins. I don't know. It's one of those mysteries of life is why we can't beat Washington, right? Everyone else seems to be okay against them, but the Eagles, like Cousins, look like this great. And the more you think about it, yeah, I mean, in those games, the Washington offensive line has dictated play. They have played really well. And the Eagles' defensive line, as good as they were a year ago, they were, I say they were a solid unit a year ago. They could not put pressure on Cousins, and Cousins picked them apart. Now, they did have Pierre Garcon a season ago, veteran receiver, over the years in this losing streak, who's always played well against the Eagles. Possession receiver, wily veteran receiver. Deshaun Jackson always has that axe to grind against the Eagles, and of course Chip Kelly those years. So he always had big games against the Eagles, and he's a great receiver. Don't take anything away from him. Wish he was still here, Chip. But but if you give your opponent, the opposing quarterback that much time, they're going to hurt you, and you saw that the last few years playing the Redskins. Their offensive line gave Kirk Cousins all day to pick apart this defense. So today and going forward, it's paramount, and I believe that this defensive line is going to be one of the best going in. When the season comes to an end, I think you'll see the Eagles as one of the top D lines in the league. So that being said, they definitely have got to win at the point of attack. This defensive line has got to get at it. They have got to make Cousins feel uncomfortable in that pocket. And then he'll look like me in Madden last night, throwing the interceptions. But yeah, you got to. We know this in football. It's all about getting pressure on the quarterback, and that's where you win. And the game is a simple game at times, but you got to win inside. You got to win on the offensive line against the defensive line, and your defensive line has got to beat their offensive line. And if you can do that enough, you're going to win the game. And obviously, offensively, the Eagles haven't looked great against the Redskins over the last few years. The Redskins' defense is good. I mean, you got to give them credit. They have some playmakers like Kerrigan, who I'm aware of last night. Josh Norman. They have playmakers on that side of the ball, but they're not a great defense. I mean, they're not a defense that you just won't be able to move the ball against. So I do expect the Eagles to have success today. I think that they're going into this game, with that chip on their shoulder, that we've lost to this team 5 times. We can't keep losing to this team. It's a division opponent. It's a rival. I know the Eagles-Redskins rivalry isn't quite up there like it is certainly for a lot of Eagle fans like myself with Dallas, and then the other Eagle fans with the Giants. The Redskins have always been like third in the pecking order, and it's no disrespect, but it's just, I mean, for me, it's Dallas 1, Giants 2, Redskins 3, and I think that's the way it is for most Eagle fans. Whether it's Dallas 1 or the Giants 1, and then Dallas 2 or the Giants 2, and then the Redskins 3. And some Eagle fans, it's the Redskins. There's been a lot of tough games against Washington over the years, but I think. It's just one of those things. I think this collection of players, they know they lost to this team 5 times in a row. And it's time to end that streak. It's time to end that skid. Do what I didn't do last night in Madden and beat them. And to do that, though, it's going to be paramount, again, for this defensive line to show up in this game, to play the ball out, to get pressure on Cousins, because if you get pressure on Cousins, he's going to make his mistakes. So he's not, they made him look like Tom Brady over the years, but he's not Tom Brady. I mean, you see him play against other opponents, and he's making mistakes. He's throwing bad interceptions. He's Kirk Cousins. He's not, I don't want to discredit the guy, but he's not an elite. He's not an elite quarterback. You like that? Yeah, he's not. Maybe maybe he had more, collection of, talent or whatever around him. He may be someday, but as it stands right now, I don't see him as an elite quarterback. He's beaten my team 5 straight times, but I don't see him as an elite quarterback. He's like a middle of the pack quarterback, but we always make him look good for whatever reason. And part of that reason is because their offensive line has always dominated, this defensive line over the past few years. So the Eagles have definitely got to do a better job at getting pressure on number 8 and making him feel uncomfortable in that pot, just havoc. Sack him a few times. Maybe he throws in a couple picks. Maybe fumbles the ball. Who knows? Get pressure on Cousins. And if they can do that, they're going to have success. Because I do believe this offense will score against their defense. The position, the upgrade at wide receiver, I think is going to really help. The running game, I mean, look, we're going to have to see. It is by committee. It is kind of a 3-headed monster with LeGarrette Blount and Wendell Smallwood and Darren Sproles. So we're going to have to kind of see how they kind of feel, how they feel out the game that way. But I think they have a chance to put up points today, and get off to a 1-0 start. And it's important to get off to a 1-0 start because Kansas City is going to be tough next week. And I know they lost Eric Berry, but they're coming off a big emotional win at New England. But it is their home opener next week, and they're going to be tough. I mean, they're going to be tough. They still have a lot of talent on that team. So it's important for the Eagles to get this one because next week's going to be tough. I'm not saying they can't win. I'm not going to be one of those. But I know it's a tough game next week. So hopefully, it's important to get this one because you don't get this one, that's going to be, and hey, the Giants, as much as we've owned them over the years, they got a tough defense. So that game here is going to be, one of those defensive battles. And you just never know what way it can go. So I do think it's very important to get this win today. And going into next week against Kansas City and all, at least get that 1-0 start. And I know 3-0 didn't matter much last year as it turned out in the grand scheme of things. But there were some things going on. And, the suspension to Lane Johnson, I think, hurt them and stuff. But, again, in this division, you don't want to get off to a slow start. So it's really important, and for tiebreaker purposes, to have a winning record in this division play head-to-head is very important. So hopefully the Eagles can get this W. I do think they will get a win in Washington. It might. I'm even going kind of high. I'm going like a 35 or a 31 to 24 type game or 20 type game. That's what I'm kind of seeing with the Eagles win. I also want to say I am going to have a game wrap up after this game, and I hope to have a new opening for this season of the Fan Series. And I'm kind of working on it. I don't have it for this video, but I hope to have it by the post game reactions vid. Put it together and get it in front of it. But and if not this week, certainly by next week. So there you go. Probably won't have any openings for Madden because that's just a live stream, and that's the way all the PS4 games are going to be. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Again, I take full responsibility for that game last night. It was just you wouldn't believe. Like after I saw the sliders, I'm like, oh. Why couldn't I think of that sooner? But you get the game, you're just excited to play it, so it's just I didn't do the preparation that I should have done. but it's still a fun game. I really enjoy playing it, and once I got everything, almost I want to say to normal, it's like I enjoyed it that much more just playing the game, and I will definitely stream all the Eagles games every week, and next week it will be Eagles at Kansas City. So hopefully I can get my first victory with the Eagles in PS4 play, and I hope to God the Eagles don't do what I did last night and lose again to the freaking Redskins, and get off to an 0-1 start. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that life doesn't imitate art in that regard, and our Birds can get a victory today against Washington and can come back later a happy man after a victory. All right, Eagles Nation out there, enjoy the game today. Happy first start to the season. Happy first NFL Sunday of the NFL season 2017-18. And as always, let's go Birds. And I'll see you guys after the Eagles-Redskins game, which hopefully will finally be, I can ring those wind chimes after a win against Washington for the first time in over 2 years. All right, everyone. Go Birds. I'll see you guys after the game.